the webinar that we have our partner from SignNow. Some of you I'm looking that we've had in the past have been SignNow users. Paperwise, we've been a SignNow user for about 12 years. I've used SignNow pretty much my whole sales career here. Big fan of the application. We just now finished our integration to SignNow to our Symphony platform. We still have it with our legacy product, the Paperwise system. So a lot of you that are on Paperwise, we do still have the integration to SignNow. So, but what we're going to do is we're going to walk through, Carrie is going to walk through the SignNow solution, some of the benefits, some of the things that have kind of been added over the years, and then she's going to walk through a demo of it. And then we're going to wrap up and talk to you about kind of an offer that we have for our existing clients if they want to try the SignNow solution. So Carrie, I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, thank you. So Carrie Kirkendall, I am the channel director here at AirSlate. I've been working at AirSlate for about 3.5 years now. And then we've been working with Paperwise here for what, probably like 6 or 7, I believe. So let's dive right in. So a little bit about AirSlate. For those of you who are not familiar, we are one of the big 3 in the document automation and e-signature space. We have about 1.2 million customers and about 1,000 employees in 6 global offices. We're funded like folks like Morgan Stanley and General Catalyst. But I guess the takeaway here is that we are a major player in the space. We are credible, and we'll pass any diligence with any e-signature use case that you do put in front of us. So every team, regardless of industry or department, has one truth across the board. And that's if you can't maximize efficiency or productivity with broken processes, and for many teams, the execution or signing part of the document workflow represents one of the very last hurdles to overcome. Let's be honest, document signing is a pain for most organizations. So if you can think about your own experience, whether it's the calls from confused clients asking, where exactly do I sign this thing? Or opening that e-signature renewal invoice at the end of the year and discovering your costs somehow went up 20% from last year. The truth is that many scenarios, these niche business processes can either make or break the effectiveness of your business. Now, raise your hand in the chat if you use an e-signature tool today, which I'm sure all of you do, whether it be DocuSign, Adobe Sign, EchoSign, or even SignNow if you're a SignNow customer. Cool. Did any of these tools on paper or during your initial demo stand out like Brad Pitt, but when it comes to actual performance, they looked more like Mr. Bean once you lifted up the hood? You're not alone. So from talking with hundreds of companies across the world, we've identified 4 buckets where breaking points generally occur. So number 1 is the unforeseen complications. 3 to 4 months down the road, you realize that the tech is quite buggy, an update was released, something broke, systems crashing during the end of the month during the worst possible time, or functionality that you thought would be native just isn't there, or it's locked behind a paywall. Number 2, IT or system admin burnout. So you think it'll take a week or 2 at most to get everything running, but implementation is a nightmare. And to make things worse, there's a lack of documentation. Support seems like they just want to get the cases closed ASAP, even though you may pay for their help. And then once it's back up and running, basic changes become a full-time project and maintaining the system becomes a full-time job. So you end up losing work time to higher value work so that you can put out little fires. Number 3, scaling pains. Scaling it is punishing. So many vendors charge per user, which means not everyone can get access, or someone has to wait on an admin that is hoarding that one DocuSign license to send contracts. You have limited reusability on your contracts. You can't easily clone your workflows or create flexible templates that work for multiple departments or scenarios, or your plan even may have a limit on templates. And then finally, the overage charges and the rate hikes at your renewal. The pricing structure almost penalizes you when your business does well rather than grow with you. And then finally, user frustration. Poor user interface or tools that require, X amount of workarounds. So users are messing around with the configurations, trying to send a document out. It's an unnecessary time drain. And if a technical person can't figure it out, it leaves a lot of room for error. So what's holding teams back? Why do organizations stay with systems that clearly aren't serving them? The barriers and lack of resources are real. So let's be honest, the products available right now and the processes required to implement them do not make this an easy transition. So A, legacy products that are super expensive and inflexible. B, high cost and complexity of integrations, sometimes that require bringing in a third party or require several hundred hours, which can be a heavy lift. C, many providers out there cost around $50,000 to $70,000 just to get started and don't have the enterprise level tech teams or experience and the budgets to build this in-house. D, it's the brand name. Stick with it because of the name recognition, not because it works better. Nobody ever got fired for buying Microsoft, right? And then what if we lose features, compliance? This one's already been vetted by everyone, or at least this is the devil we know about. And then finally, whether it's a certain person who fears change, we've always done it this way. This is perhaps the most common excuse we hear. And also some of the most expensive words in business is that we've always done it this way. You know, if it's not broken, I'm not going to spend the time to fix it. I'm not going to focus on it, or I don't know how to solve it. We all know or work with somebody like that. And the mentality is understandable when you consider the cost and the potential for a new system to disrupt your current systems and throw out all of your process out of whack. So our vision is to be the premier e-signature solution in the space, and we're here to make your life easier when working in Paperwise and then also outside of Paperwise as well, because SignNow is a standalone solution. So our vision is to connect all of your business documents in all of your ecosystems so that you never have to think about entering manual data from a signed contract or configure manual workarounds ever again. This slide, I'm going to let you take a quick glance and I'll go into it in the following slide. So these are the key features of SignNow. We do have feature parity across the board with all of our major contenders. So you can e-sign on any device, whether it be a tablet, a desktop, a cell phone, etc. All of our signatures are legally binding. You can track the status of the documents in real time. You can send out automated reminders, no more chasing your signatures. You can save unlimited templates in the cloud at no extra charge. And then also, most importantly, you can add your branding or your own customization so that everything meets the professional standards that you and your clients expect. This is my bragging slide. So we are honored to work with organizations across industries and segments from healthcare to education to tech. And the question is, why do they choose SignNow? What do they know? The common thread here is that they need to move fast, stay compliant, and make their tools work together. And that's exactly what SignNow does. You don't lose what matters. So whether it be compliance, security, legal validity, audit trails, or seamless integrations. But what you do lose is clunky user interface, overpriced licenses, sticker shock and mind games with sales at renewal time, manual workarounds, and then having to pay a premium for support. So we do offer free 24/7 support. It doesn't matter what tier you purchase at. That is offered to everyone with a real human in real time. And we take compliance very seriously. So SignNow meets or exceeds every major regulatory standard, whether it be SOC 2 Type 2, HIPAA, GDPR, FERPA, PCI. We also have 21 CFR. And if you're working in healthcare, education, financial services, government, or across boards, we do check every box. So the bottom line here is if your team has security standards, we meet them. If your IT team has questions, we have answers. So after working with Paperwise team and clients for several years now, the integration that they have built is based on the real world needs of the customers that support their business processes in Paperwise and beyond. So it is truly a one-click setup process. It integrates seamlessly into Symphony and many of your other business apps. And then everything syncs bi-directionally, so there's no admin work. And then also, like I mentioned, it can be a standalone solution if needed, just for one-off e-signature needs. And then the implementation takes days, not months. And actually, it probably takes hours. So when we took a closer look at e-signature, we saw a massive gap in the market. Teams were faced with a choice: solutions with compliance and functionality needed, but are overly complex and expensive, versus overly simplistic without the ability to cover every use case, but are more cost effective. At AirSlate, we do things differently. With SignNow, you're not having to trade security and functionality for simplicity. We have the same rich feature set as DocuSign, Adobe Sign, etc., except you're not going to play the license game and you don't have to increase your IT budget in order to do so. In fact, our customers save around 40% on average when switching over from the major competitors. We don't charge overages, and upon renewal, we don't hit you with a year-over-year contract rate increase that tends to be around 3 to 7%. We have not increased our prices in 6 years, and we have no plans to do so in the future. Again, support is included for everyone, not just premium tier customers. And then finally, the usage-based pricing that we offer allows you to grow with us, meaning that we reward you for increased usage and adoption. So as your usage goes up, your cost per envelope goes down. In short, SignNow is an absolute DocuSign killer. In fact, DocuSign is bleeding us customers at such a rate that we built a one-click migration tool within SignNow in order to help our customers migrate over to SignNow, which I'll show you in the demo shortly. So here is the SignNow UI. It's super simple. You upload a document. I will upload a partner agreement in a docx file. You have an opportunity here to either keep it as a document, which means you're just going to send it for a one-off, one time, or you can create a template out of it. Again, it's an unlimited number of templates that you can use within SignNow. We're just going to do this one-off. All right, we're going to add our recipients. Carrie and partner. Carrie, and let's see here, manager. Everything's going to be color coded. There is no limit on the number of signers that you can use to execute a document. And then we will scroll down to the signing boxes. Probably should have selected shorter contract. So here is where we're going to have the drag and drop interface. Company name, company address. We have a little line that keeps everything nice and neat. Contact name, contact title, and then we want to select email so that it does require an email formatting. So that's the first portion. The second portion, we're going to select the manager, and they are going to add their signature here. And that's how simple it is. You have the options for radio buttons, check boxes, initials, etc., etc. There are no limits, but for time's sake, we're going to keep this simplified. We're going to save and close. And I wanted to show you here that you do have the opportunity to create an invite link. So here are the ways in which you can, oh, sorry, I did the preset. Let me go back in there. So you have the opportunity for an invite link, or you can embed the code as well into a website. Here is before you're going to send the invite, you have one last opportunity. If you have these out of order, you can always switch them. We have the opportunity for two-factor authentication, so you can use a password, a text message, or a phone call. Here are the reminder settings. You can also save the expiration dates for all participants within the document execution. And then you also can allow forwarding, decline, and then apply authentication to all settings and all recipients. We're not going to do that. And then finally, the actions on completion. So here's where, let's say you have a document that you're sending out for HR, and maybe someone needs to attach, whether it be a birth certificate, social security card, any type of PII. You have the opportunity here to attach the documents or not attach the documents. So we're not going to do that as well. All right, so we are going to send the invite to the first recipient. Let me pull up my email. All right, so here's what it looks like when someone is receiving the invitation to sign. There we go. View document. Again, this is all customizable within the organizational settings, so you can add your own logos. The actual messaging is customizable as well. Let's get started. We do offer the following languages for a signing session. We're going to stick with English. We'll click start. Company name, AirSlate. Contact name, Carrie. Contact title, manager. And then that's it. We hit finish. I'll go back to sign now. We'll see that this is going to update as far as the status goes of where the contract is in Lineage. Let me refresh my screen here. Okay, so we have our completed document. Now I want to show you the bells and whistles. So we have my organizations. You can have as many organizations as you'd like. And this is what it looks like when you set one up. So you can have your own logo. Let's say you have different, you have different departments that need an organization. You have branding and customization. You have an immense amount of workflow settings, very, very granular settings. We also have compliance as well. So if you need HIPAA, 21 CFR, or PCI, we do offer those. Cloud storages, this is really important, that if you use any of these cloud storage platforms, that all you have to do is click the connect button. And so any time that a document is sent out for signature and completed, it is then used, these are used as a repository for your signed documents. Okay.
Probably maybe one of the features you could just discuss or talk about is bulk invites and kind of using the templates. We have a lot of clients that will build templates in here, especially on the HR side, and they'll kind of set up their users in here. So that way, anytime there's an addendum to a like an employee handbook or something, if they can quickly go in here, make the changes or add the documents, and then just send it out as a bulk invite.
Absolutely. Yes. So it's setting, if you have like a contract where you have, let's say, for example, the company handbook. So when you need to send a company handbook out to all of the employees in the company, you would use bulk invite, meaning that the signer will be different every single time, but the contract will remain the same. There we go. So this is what bulk invite looks like. So you can download or upload the CSV with all of the email addresses. You can customize it to your discretion. You can also do individually branding for each template. And the document copies, you can name that as well. Awesome.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks everybody, and we'll be in touch. And thank you, Carrie.
Yeah. Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Take care.